everyone. Welcome to Abilene Convention Center, and thank you for coming to see ACU Theater's production of Wonderful Town. My name is Jillian Nicole Jackson. I am a senior acting major at ACU, and I'm serving as the dramaturg for this production. A dramaturg wears many hats in the theater world, but for this specific show, it has been my responsibility to research the history of Wonderful Town and the time period in which it is set, and to convey that information to the cast, the production team, and our audience. So let's get started. Wonderful Town was set in Greenwich Village in New York City in 1935, which means we are right in the middle of the Great Depression. Franklin D. Roosevelt has recently become president, and he has enacted his New Deal, which paved the way for things such as the Works Progress Administration and the Tennessee Valley Authority, two things you might hear mentioned in the show today. With money being tight and life looking bleak, people were eager for a distraction, so they turned to things such as movies, especially movie musicals and screwball comedies. And they loved listening to their radio. Those hep cats back then sure did love their swing music, which you will also get to hear today in the show. Before Wonderful Town was a musical, it was a play called My Sister Eileen, which was based on the memoirs of a woman named Ruth McKinney, which premiered on Broadway in 1940. Wonderful Town, the musical, was written by Jerome Khodorov and Joseph Fields, with lyrics by Betty Comden and Adolph Green, and with a score composed by Leonard Bernstein. In fact, one of the reasons we chose to do this show is to join performance venues across the globe in celebrating Bernstein's 100th birthday this year. Our cast and crew have been hard at work on Wonderful Town since the first day of school, and our production team has been working on it even longer. ACU Theater's production of Wonderful Town is under the direction of Adam Hester, with music direction by Jeanette Lipford and Kristen Ward, choreography by Lily Balog, costume design by Catherine Baumgardner, set design by David Utley, and lighting design by Jim Elliott. Being part of a Christian theater department means we're always looking for the aspects of Christ in the work we do. Here is our director, Adam Hester, giving his views.
Wonderful Town is a musical comedy. It's a happy musical comedy. And it might be that you would think, well, we're just to enjoy this for its mere entertainment value. But I believe that all good art has deep spiritual influences built in. And remember that this is a musical composed by the great Leonard Bernstein. So, as we think about Wonderful Town, and we try to think what in the world could be spiritual or godly that is coming out of this musical, the way I like to look at it is looking at how the musical itself is shaped. And in this musical, there is such great satisfaction in this feeling that everything comes to its a happy resolution. And the reason it feels so satisfying is because there is this God-centered sense that God is restoring all things. And that restoration is something that we are longing for. And this musical actually has that within it. There's also this conflict that's built into the play. It's the two sisters, Ruth and Eileen, find themselves in this, they're duped into this apartment that they have to live in after agreeing without actually getting to see it first. And so in this, it's actually described as a cross between let's see how they say it, between a cell in solitary confinement and an iron lung. So it's a pretty awful place. And yet, when the play arcs to its ending, the two women find themselves in this jazz club that is glittering and exciting and full of people who are cheering them on. So they go from this isolated feeling that they're all by themselves in a very scary environment to something that is both celebrated and that is something that is both positive and encouraging. And in that, we're finding, again, restoration. And that is really satisfying to us. There's also conflict in the relationships that occur in the play. And so, as you would imagine, there are love interests of which become complicated and people fall out of relationship with one another. But in the end, because it is a happy musical, all relationships are restored and there is reconciliation. And reconciliation is also a God directive. It's something that that we're both called to do in everything in our life, as well as feeling that that is what God is looking for, is reconciling all things. So in this musical, I'm really excited to think about how there is this sense of heaven that is offered up in this musical. And we don't know that. We shouldn't even be thinking about that. It should all be subliminal and subtle. But these elements are there. And to me, that makes it such a worthy and exciting piece to do, because it just reminds all of us that there will be restoration, there will be reconciliation, and that there is a sense of heaven ahead.
Thank you so much for coming to see our show today. We're excited to perform it for you. I hope you enjoy ACU Theater's production of Wonderful Town, and I'll see you in there.